Hey, what is up YouTube? This is Evan Magician 34 and I'm bringing you my kind of first run Plasma deck. Plasma Blast is legal as far as when I made this. We're starting off with 2 copies of Thunderous EX. I feel like 2 is all you really need online. I've been quite successful with 2. His Riding Knuckle is just so good early game, especially with cards like Ultra Ball and Juniper and whatnot to help get those energies into the yard. And mid to late game, he can be a real house with Deoxys boosting him. And he's coming out in tins soon, so that's a nice boost. Definitely going to be good tins to pick up, because the other tins also come with Deoxys. And we're running 3 copies of this Deoxys because he gives you that boost to really make those attacks hit pretty hard even from the get-go. And he's easy to get with Team Plasma Ball and all that, and I really don't think I need to extol the virtues of Deoxys EX. We're also running Bouffalant partially because we need things that are not EXs or Plasmas, because there are getting to be some good counters to that. So we do need this guy, plus he's just a really solid counter to all kinds of things, and he hits EXs really hard with Goldbreaker. Yet another card that's been a real star player for me. Quite good. My only other Plasma Pokemon actually is Zapdos EX. He seems like kind of an uncommon choice, but he's one of the cards that I've been really excited to play online, and so when I finally got some cards in the mail during this last week, I thought this guy would be fun to try out, and he hasn't let me down. Basically, I like him with Thunderous EX just because he's also Lightning, so he uses those same energies. Power Volt can be really good late game, and Agility can also buy you some time once the Pokemon catchers are largely played out and whatnot. And he also has fighting resistance, which is pretty handy considering you've got a number of fighting weak Pokemon, and he's easy to get because you can get him with any of the balls you run in the deck. Um, just a really solid choice. We are running 1 copy of Keldeo because we've got Floatstone for him, and obviously that's as close to immunity to status as you're ever going to get. Bar Virizion EX, of course, so pretty much staple there. I've rarely found a need for 2, so I just go with 1. I'm running 1 Mewtwo EX. My playtesting, actually, I think I might drop him. In a lot of ways, he's just kind of Plasma Deoxys that's a little harder to search. But I like capitalizing on the double colorless. So I don't know. I may still play around with him. But I found 1 was good enough for me this go-around. And I'm also teching 1 copy of Reshiram. Since he is rotation legal, I just like that I can double colorless his Outrage. And he can be problematic for Genesect Virizion, but I'm not sure if he's going to stay either. But, he looks really awesome, so, and he's a little more practical than Zekrom, and the backlash from his big attack if you have to power it up isn't quite as bad as Zekrom is going to pretty much guarantee his own knockout. So, anyway, may or may not keep that. On to the support lineup, we got 4 copies of Juniper, of course, because she just draws you so deep. There's pretty much nothing wrong with Juniper ever. I don't know why you wouldn't run 4. We're running 4 copies of N. I mean, honestly, I could go to 3 or so because late game this guy's not so awesome, but the presence of Darkrai and the fact that it's still arguably the best meta deck in the format, and how much N messes that up early game because it kind of screws with their junk hunt on Sableye, I still definitely want to go for 4 copies of N, and if you play him judiciously, he can disrupt anybody, so I'm still saying for him. In this deck where you pump the bench so quickly, and with a lot of other decks that do similar things, there's no reason not to capitalize on Colress. So we're running 3 Colress. 4 is a little much, but 3 gives you some deep drawing. I'm usually firing it for like 7 to 10, which is awesome. Makes it sort of like a pseudo Juniper a lot of the time. Still running the 3 Skylas. 4 they can stack up, but 2 often is not enough, and this deck still has a lot of utility, like to go fetch with Skyla, and even on her worst day, you can use her to go get Juniper for next turn. And what's your opponent going to do? NU so that you draw cards anyway? Not a big deal. I did push it to 16 supporters by putting in these 2 Shadow Triads, but considering you can get energies and Pokemon and quite a few of your trainers, this is quite a handy card to have around, plus you can Dowsing Machine and Skyla for it if you really need to. So, I haven't been disappointed by this. I've played both copies in game, and late in the game, it's a lot more useful in drawing cards when your deck gets so low. As far as the more standard fare, we're running 3 catchers because we have plenty of ways to draw and search for them. So 3 is more than enough to get the job done. And like I've already hinted at, we're running Dowsing Machine. So you essentially have 4 of them. We're running 3 copies of Team Plasma Ball. We've only got the 6 Plasma Pokemon, so you really don't need more than that. Between drawing and getting them naturally in your opener and whatnot, 3 is quite enough. Just a really solid way to get those Deoxys out. That's basically what it's for. We have 2 copies of Ultra Ball. My Ultra Ball target 9 times out of 10 is just going to be Keldeo, just to set up my easy switch outs. But you can also get things like Buffalint and Mewtwo with that, of course. And it never hurts. You can even get Plasma Pokemon with it. We are running 1 copy of Verbank City Gym to support our Laser Bank combo with 3 copies of Hypnotoxic. I don't want to commit to the 4th one because a lot of times it's really not necessary, and also Deoxys EX is kind of problematic for it, so you don't want to run too much poison support when you might run afoul of an opponent who can pretty much ignore it. So that's all we're running in that vein. We're running 2 float stones to keep up the retreats, because oftentimes they pretty much function just like a switch, except that they can potentially give you more than 1 switch out. So float stone, quite nice, even with only 1 Keldeo. You got that extra one because you can slap it on, say, Mewtwo or Buffalint and switch them out. Speaking of switch, we are running 1 regular switch in this deck, just as a Sky the Target and whatnot. And of course you can also Dowsing Machine for it. I was finding running more, I oftentimes just ended up pitching them and didn't really use them. And so far I haven't been disappointed just running the 1 switch. I do like it though to get around sleep, so I want to keep at least 1. My ace spec is Dowsing Machine. It's not as bad early game as a lot of people I think are afraid that it will be. And yes, Computer Search can get other stuff, but Dowsing Machine can get pretty much any card that would get you something else anyway, and late in the game it is far more effective after you've dug through most of your deck. So I definitely advocate Dowsing Machine over Computer Search, just most of the time. If you get any kind of trainer lineup, you want it. I am running 1 copy of Energy Search because we do have a few basics, and this can be a nice Skyla out to energy, of course. And it can, thin through your deck a little bit too, I guess, which doesn't hurt. And speaking of energy searching, we're running 3 colorless machines, just 3 really, because the deck isn't really, since we don't run Lugia EX, there's not really that hysterical need to power up super fast. So really more than anything, it's almost more of a deck thinning agent and a potential slightly faster Deoxys kind of thing. But it's not super crucial. You could probably even run less and be just fine. The actual energies are, of course, for Plasma energies, because all our Plasma Pokemon benefit from them. 3 Prism energies, just the 3. Enhanced Hammer and Cobalion EX are a little scary, so I'm just running the 3 in order that we might benefit from some of these basics. We got 2 Lightning basics and 1 Psychic basic, because you can search these, and of course you can mess around with Riding Knuckle on Thundurus, which is kind of the point of the deck, obviously. So those are nice because they're not as removable. And then we've also got 3 DCEs because we got lots of stuff that can use them, and Buffalint and Mewtwo obviously like to power up quickly, and so does Reshiram. Might be playing around with this in the future, but for now this was my Plasma version 1, and I've gone undefeated in real life games with this. Online I'm running a slightly different variant. Probably going to switch it up, and I'll show that to you later. So stay tuned. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and check out my channel for more cool gaming content.